You can't remember being born. You can't remember your first word, your first step, or the face of whoever held you on your very first night. Those years are just gone. A blank. A void where the beginning of your life should be. And yet your body remembers everything. It remembers the exact pressure of being held. It remembers the rhythm of a heartbeat close to your ear. It remembers fear, warmth, hunger, comfort, in a language older than any word you've ever spoken. You were there for all of it. You just can't access it the way you think memory is supposed to work. So where did it all go? Psychologists call it infantile amnesia. Every single person alive has a hidden chapter at the start of their life that they cannot read. The blank typically runs from birth until somewhere between ages 2.5 and 3.5. Most people have their first reliable autobiographical memory around age 3. Before that, almost nothing. Not faded memories, not blurry ones, nothing. For a long time, scientists assumed babies simply weren't paying attention in the right way, that a brain that young couldn't encode lasting memories. But Patricia Bauer, a psychologist at Emory University who has spent decades studying memory development in children, proved that wrong. Infants as young as 6 months can form memories. A 6-month-old will remember a specific toy. They'll recognize a face they haven't seen in weeks. Memory is clearly happening. So the question isn't whether memories are being made. It's why they don't survive. Here is where it gets strange. Your hippocampus, the brain region most responsible for converting experience into long-term memory, is not finished growing when you are born. It keeps generating brand new neurons well into early childhood, a process called neurogenesis. And those new neurons, while being wired into the network, actively disrupt and overwrite older memory traces. Paul Frankland and Sheena Jocelyn at the Hospital for Sick Children in Toronto demonstrated this directly. The same neurogenesis that helps a young brain grow and adapt is also what erases early memories. The brain is so busy building itself that it keeps rewriting its own records. It isn't forgetting the way you forget a name. It's more like a construction site that tears down yesterday's scaffolding to put up something stronger. But there is a second layer, and it goes even deeper. Adult memory isn't just storage. It's storage tied to language. When you form an autobiographical memory, you use language to anchor it. You narrate it. You think I was sitting in the car when I heard the news. The self that remembers is a self who can speak. Before age 2, you had no internal narrative voice. Without that scaffolding, memories couldn't be organized the way adult memories are. There was no I with a story yet. There were only sensations, raw experience, without a narrator to hold it together. Mark Howe, a memory researcher at City, University of London, has argued that the emergence of a coherent self-concept, knowing that you are a continuous being with a past and a future, is what makes autobiographical memory possible. That self-concept doesn't come online until around age 2. Before that, experience happens to you, but there is no stable you yet to remember it happening. This is why the memories from your earliest years didn't just disappear. They were never stored in a form the adult you could ever retrieve, and yet your body kept the record. The body holds a different kind of memory, one that bypasses language entirely. Not the memory of events, but the memory of states. How safety felt, how abandonment felt, how being held or left alone registered in your nervous system. Bessel van der Kolk, a psychiatrist and trauma researcher at Boston University, has shown that early experiences leave signatures in the nervous system that persist long after conscious memory has failed. The way your heart rate responds to a raised voice. The way certain smells still feel like home or like danger. The way your body tightens before your mind has any idea why. These are not coincidences. These are your earliest years still speaking, in the only language they ever learned. You cannot remember being comforted as an infant, but your nervous system knows exactly what comfort feels like, and it has been chasing that feeling ever since. Your threat detection system was calibrated in those early years, adjusting what feels safe and what feels wrong in ways you never consciously decided. The first years of your life were not lost. They were translated into something older and deeper than language. Every adult you have ever met is carrying years of experience they cannot consciously access. Years that shape them completely. Their reactions that seem outsized. Their need for particular kinds of reassurance. Their inexplicable comfort in specific rituals or sounds. None of it came from nowhere. And if your earliest experiences shaped you in ways you can't remember, the opposite is also true for every infant alive right now. Every child too young to tell you what they are taking in is taking in everything. The tone, the tension, the calm, the chaos. They will not remember it, but their bodies will. You forgot the beginning, but the beginning never forgot you. You started this wondering where those years went. Now you know they didn't go anywhere. They became you, quietly, completely, and permanently, before you ever had the words to notice it happening.